Are you looking to expand your mind? Do you like to challenge and be challenged? Looking to improve yourself and share your experiences professionally and personally? You're in the right place. Welcome to Scoutcast, Roasting Marshmallows, with your host, Rolf Surd.
And we are live. Welcome to another episode of Scoutcast. My name is Rolf Surd and I'll be your host. So this podcast is being recorded during the COVID-19 pandemic. Many people find themselves confined to their homes, working remote jobs, if they still have a job, of course. But, there has been a group of people who took this remote work to the next level, even before COVID. And, they lived a dream that many people may have, a nomadic lifestyle of traveling to beautiful parts of the world, earning all of their money through online stuff. These people are called digital nomads, someone who desires the freedom to work and live anywhere and uses technology to make this desire a reality. So our guest today is such a digital nomad, Paulo Alves. I hope I pronounced your name correctly there, Paulo.
That's correct.
Welcome. And, Paulo describes himself as an open book written with bent lines, and we will find out what he means by that today. So Paulo is one of our 4 Scouts Nomads, a program where we leverage our network to bring clients and like-minded freelancers together in order to get stuff done. So welcome, Paulo.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, man. And we have some other people guesting here as well. Henk is also, I guess, some sort of digital nomad because, you are not in your native country anymore, but you're in the Netherlands, although you've been here for 10 years. So I don't know if you still count as a nomad, but,
I did for 6 months. So together with Paulo, by the way. So
yeah.
yes, a little bit in the past.
Okay, so I'm guessing,
all right.
I'm guessing you guys can tell some stories about each other then. We'll get to that in just a bit. And another one we have on the show today is Arno. Welcome.
Thank you.
And how much of a nomad are you? Because you got a camper, right? So
I have a camper, but I never worked in it, so I don't think I count like a digital nomad.
Okay. More of a...
I don't even bring my laptop, so it's like,
just a Dutch guy going on vacation. And,
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, good to have you on the show, everyone. So, Paulo, why did you decide to become a digital nomad? Or do you see yourself as a digital nomad, or do you see yourself just as a guy who wants to chill?
Well, actually, I started seeing myself as a digital nomad not long time ago. I have been traveling since my first trip. That's like I'm thinking about it all the time, traveling. And that was in like 2010, 2009, something like this. I went to a trip alone in South America, in Peru and Bolivia and all. So after that, I was like, okay, let's travel. Then I went to Malaysia, did an internship. But that was like, the first trip I was traveling for holidays. All right, it was 50 days holidays, but it was holidays. Then in Malaysia, I was working there. And after this, I was came back to Brazil, was saving money for like a year and a half, and then traveling and not working at all. So that was traveling, but it was nothing like digital nomad.
And how old were you then?
Then? No, now I'm 35. So.
Yeah, but back then, how old were you on the holidays and stuff like that?
24, 25, something like this.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So in 2016, I decided not gonna work for a year and a half and then travel. I'm just gonna do both at the same time. And then I started it at home, my parents' house, because I just came broken from a trip. So I was my parents' house, and instead of going after a job at some company, I just decided to try to get jobs online. And then I tried that for like 6 months, got some money, and then that would keep me up for like 6 months if there was any problem. And then, then I started. Then, actually digital nomad, traveling and working at the same time. So since 2016, I'm doing this.
You see yourself doing this for the foreseeable future?
Yes, I would do.
I heard you have a girlfriend now, so I don't know if the game is still the same.
Yeah, now it changes a bit. It's a serious relationship. I need to be with her also, but still, She's studying in Portugal, and I don't have a visa for Portugal, so I go there for 3 months, and then I have to leave for 3 months, and then I come back and leave. So it has been like this for not long, actually. It was one time that this happened, this cycle. But yeah,
Okay.
I think she wants also to do this. I mean, she told me she wants also to do something like this, so I think it's gonna keep for some time.
And you just showed us a beautiful view outside. So where are you currently situated?
Well, I am in my hometown, in Rick's hometown also, Fortaleza. It's a city in Brazil, one of the biggest cities, but it's just at the coast. It rains only 1 month per year. All the 330 blah 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 days are sunny and warm. The coldest weather we've had here was like 22 degrees plus, or 21. And people are still like wearing scarves and everything. So yeah, I'm in my hometown, Fortaleza, Brazil.
And would you ever consider
that's not
going
really
to
a nomad,
Netherlands?
Well, now I'm here because my girlfriend is getting to know Brazil. So we were traveling. We went first to Rio, then we went to the south, and then to Salvador, all in Brazil, and then here. And then traveling a bit, then she goes back, hopefully, to Portugal. I mean, hopefully for her, because she has to go back to study.
And in the meantime, you are basically also doing your work.
Yeah. I'm working basically every day.
So, what is your job?
What? Can you repeat?
What do you do for a living?
Well, I'm a programmer, I'm a developer. So I do mobile apps and web apps.
Do you work for the companies in the country you are, or do you work for countries anywhere?
In the beginning, I was working only for Brazilian companies because it was easier to get freelancer jobs because it's my country and I can speak the language perfectly and all communicate. And I was trying only in Brazil actually also. Then I got one job for Argentina, and then kept with Brazil for a long time. And like last year, I got a job, a long-time job. I mean, long time because the project is long. It's not like so for Portugal. So I'm working for a Portuguese company doing their mobile app. And since December, I'm doing some job for Four Scouts also. So now I'm just working for Portugal and the Netherlands.
So is it better to work for a European company than a Brazilian company?
Oh, much better. I can't compare, especially because the Brazilian currency now is really low compared to the euro. So makes life much better outside of Europe. So, yeah.
And how many hours a week do you work? Like how many hours do you do?
I actually have a startup also. It's in kind of the beginning, I would say. So I basically work like 8 hours a day, I would say. I wake up at 7 a.m. because there is a daily meeting with this Portuguese company. So I start working at 7 a.m. until 11 or midday, and then I leave, go do something, go at the beach here, or go around the city that I am at. And then I come back, usually in the night. During the night, there's nothing much to do outside. I mean, no things to see. Maybe you can go to a restaurant or some party, but there are no parties nowadays. So I work again. But if you count everything, it would be like 8-7 hours. But it's not constant, you know. Like last week, I just didn't work for 4 days. Like just going. The guy who owns the company I work for in Portugal, he's here, and he's my good friend, and we were traveling in some island here in Brazil, so it was just beach and fun, you know.
Okay. And what are the best parts about being a digital nomad?
Well, the best part, I think, is this freedom. I really like this freedom that I have. I can work. I really hated going to the office and taking like a transport. It would take a long time to get there, then work. Some days you're not productive because that's how people are. and then but still you have to be there somehow for some reason, and then you take the transport back and everything. So this schedule doesn't work much for me. And
So I should change my background, I guess. I should change my background, I guess, for the YouTube movie out of this.
This is a schedule where I can work anytime I want and do stuff during the day. It's much better for me. So that's.
But do you wake up and like work the whole day? Do you wake up, work 8 hours straight, and then stop, or do you do?
No,
is every day the same day, same thing?
Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. It depends. But
okay.
like here, no. Here, like yesterday, I worked in the morning, and then in the afternoon we went to eat some fish and went to the beach and see some stuff in the city nearby where I am. Then came back, worked, for example, yesterday, worked again. Then we went for crabs because Thursday is crabs night here in my city, so we went for crabs. And then came back, worked again. It's like I probably work 8 hours most of the days. I wouldn't say most, actually, but probably I work for a few days, 8 hours, but it's not constant, you know. I go
and then
out
the rest you just eat.
Apparently.
Yeah, I'm eating a lot. I'm not showing my full body, but we would notice that I'm eating a lot on the last month. So yeah, but
not a beach body then, I suppose.
No, and it's summer here, so
it's a modern one.
Beach body.
All right.
But,
and what's the best country you ever lived in then?
Best country? Well, it actually depends a lot on what you want. The countries I've lived in, or like really lived, it's not like passing by. Really living, I would say at least 2-3 months in the same city.
Yeah.
So it was Brazil, of course, because I'm from here. Uruguay, Argentina, Thailand, Malaysia, Portugal. It really depends. I really liked Malaysia because it's warm, it's safe, the food is amazing, the culture is amazing also. And it's nearby all the other countries in Asia, in Southeast Asia at least. The flights are cheap, so I think, and there are no problems with how do you call it when there's an earthquake in the sea and then there is a tsunami. There are no problems with that.
No natural disasters, I guess.
Yeah, no natural disasters.
Okay.
So that was really good. Malaysia, I think, Malaysia and Portugal, I really like Portugal also, would be like my favorite.
Where in Portugal were you? In Lisboa or Porto?
Now I was in Coimbra, because my girlfriend studies in the University of Coimbra. But, and it's fine there, it's a, let's say, small city. I think all cities there are small, but maybe she'll get a job in Lisbon and then we are going to move there. And Lisbon I find really good. I would say it's one of my favorite city in Europe. So yeah. And then would be a good too.
And what do you do? How do you work together? Like, do you even work together? Do you have projects alone, or what do you do?
Yeah, I have a project with a friend that I met during my trip here in Brazil, the beginning of 2016, where I was traveling. We have a startup, and we actually only saw each other on those times, but the startup's going, so that's the personal project I have. I have some other ideas also of personal projects, but that would be only me, and I didn't get the time to do it yet. So yeah, of personal
so
projects.
you work mostly alone? You work mostly alone?
Yes. All the things I'm doing now, I'm basically alone on what I'm doing. But last year I had a full-time job in a Brazilian company, and then there was teams and all that stuff. Still home office, 100%. But now, alone. Everything I'm doing, I'm the only one pushing to the GitHub.
And doesn't
And
that feel lonely?
No, it's actually like working alone it's good because I am managing all the projects, so I'm sure that things are going most of the time, at least the way I want. It doesn't feel lonely, but one thing that I noticed before I got this full-time job in Brazil, it was like 2 years ago, is that I was working all the time alone, and I didn't have much contact with other developers. So I got out of the things that were happening because it was only me. I was working and then doing stuff. I was not studying or checking out what's new. So then it's like I got to the interview with this company and they were asking stuff. And I know how to do them, but I don't know like the technical things, how to say it. So if instead they told me, okay, do this, I would do it for sure. But then they ask like those questions of getting a certificate kind of stuff. And I was like, what? I have no idea.
we need to reevaluate our Nomad selection process, by the way.
Oh.
Yes. Who approved him?
Apparently you are, no?
Oh.
And,
It was your tip, Henrique, so be careful.
oh shit. And like I think there is a lot of at least I had a lot of these discussions in the past with Paulo about it's like how can you live like this, right? Like because actually when I met this guy, he just had a backpack and a laptop, and I think it's still what he has, right?
I have two
Do you still only
backpacks
have a
now.
back? Okay, 2 backpacks. Wow, that's impressive.
One
And,
for your girlfriend?
No.
But then it's like my question is like I still wonder like what are you running away from?
I'm not running away
Right?
from anything, man. That's a really philosophical question, but not running away from anything. My way of seeing it, I'm running towards stuff. I want to.
Yeah.
I want
Okay,
to visit things.
what do you
and
wanna
all the
find?
world.
What do you think of finding?
I actually don't think of finding much. What I know I want is to know how things work and how people see the world. So and for to like as an example, the most interesting countries I find are the most different ones. You know, the ones that I like the most. My top one country that I've been to is India, and it's like so different. And I spent 2 months there. And China was really good also. I spent 2 months there. So
What's so good about these countries? Is it like the culture, or is it the hospitality of the people, or what is it that so attracts you in these countries that
it's
you can't
kind of
find in
everything
Brazil?
together. So for a comparison that I usually do, if I go, let's say, to France, and then I go to Paris, I already, even without searching for what I can do there, I already know a lot of stuff that I can do there. This comes from the movies, comes from TV shows, or from the news. But if I go to India, okay, there's Taj Mahal and some other stuff, a few.
Bollywood.
Bollywood.
A war with China?
Actually, I participated in a Bollywood movie, the most famous, I mean, the one that got most people watching. So
Is it on YouTube?
Oh.
yeah, the movie is on Netflix. It's really bad. I didn't manage to watch more than 10 minutes, but I was there. And it was
Okay.
with the
Are we
top,
gonna link this later on or not?
it was with the top actor in India, Shah Rukh Khan. And yeah, the movie is really bad, but I was there, so it was fun. So yeah, everything. So I go to India. I don't know what to expect. I have no idea, and it's really totally complete, really different religions because they have like a lot of religions there. So I don't know what to expect. I go to China. All right, there's the Great Wall, the Forbidden City, but that's it. And then there's the whole other the country that I had no idea what to expect. I go to Cuba. I think I think it's in some way by the news I hear here in Brazil but I go there and it's completely different. And so, and then I go to Middle East. I go to Lebanon. I was there. It's like my favorite country. It's just so amazing, and you hear a lot of bad stuff from there. So these different cultures, and they really attract me. I really like it. And when I travel, I take the buses. I walk like 10 kilometers going through the city. I was staying like in the city center of Beirut, and I was going to the points walking. It's like 6, 7, 8 kilometers walking from one point to the other, and I really like to know what's going on and like experience what they're doing in their real life. I don't go to fancy restaurants. Like in Cuba, everyone thinks it's really expensive there because you kind of pay in dollars and you go to the restaurants and they are all for tourists and really expensive. I was going to like the same restaurants that they eat 3 times a day for 30 days. People take the buses that are touristic buses where only tourists can take. I took this once in 30 days, and in the other days I took like the trucks that they have moving around the country. So that's fun. That's what I like. It's not like
really try to immerse yourself in the local.
Yeah, and
local
it's not like
right?
I don't feel like I'm running away from something. Never felt like this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say never, but all right.
But you are, in most countries, you're like maximum 3 months or something in the city. Like 2 or 3 months.
Yes, actually not in the city, in the country. It's usually the
place.
visa, the time I have for visa,
Or and how do you deal then with friendship and stuff like that? Because everything seems to be shallow, in my mind anyways.
Yeah, for sure. In the trip, yeah, sure. Shallow, I get to know people, I get to communicate and interact with people. But it's not like I become friends with them, or maybe you add on Instagram, but it's not like you talk or you know what's going on. So yeah, that for sure can be lonely.
Do you miss that?
Actually, what I miss is not that. I don't nowadays. At this point, actually, I prefer not to. I prefer not to interact that much, because when we were young.
Because of Corona.
No, it's not because of Corona. It's because it gets too similar. And like back on the days when I was younger, I went to a hostel and I wanted to stay in the dorm the biggest dorm with the most amount of people, so I can meet a lot of people. Nowadays, if I go to a hostel, I book a room for myself because it's fine. I've done that, and I actually prefer to go around the city by myself.
You're becoming a grumpy old man.
Yeah, grumpy old man. That's me nowadays. And the things to do, I don't like taking tours, like following someone. So I do most of the stuff by myself. If it's some historical thing I study before. I also like to do hikings and all that stuff. And I usually do it by myself. All right, if someone wants to join, it's fine, but I don't take tours. Like here in Brazil, I did a 7 days hike by myself in some kind of, I wouldn't say a forest because there were not many high trees, but yeah, it was by myself, and I didn't see a person for 3 days in the first one.
Did you ever get to like dangerous situations where you said like, yeah, I'm just going to explore this city, and then you're like somewhere in a back alley with a bunch of tough guys and
he's born in Brazil, right?
Getting robbed or whatever. Well, yeah, of course, but
that's day to day here. No. Actually, no. Those kind of stuff, like I feel like I'm gonna get robbed or anything, it never happened to me. I know it happened to friends of mine, but to me, some pickpocket tried once that I remember, but didn't work.
Him.
Yeah, I noticed, and then he left. One dangerous thing that almost happened to me was on the first day of this 7 days hike I did here in Brazil. So I was walking, it's like already, 6 hours walking, and I'm really close to my sleeping point on that day. And then my bottle of water, and it's on the mountains, and it's like really steep, and the place to walk is not that, not that wide. And then my bottle of water falls. I leave my backpack. I go to get the bottle of, and it falls. It was like this, it was like stairs, but really huge stairs. And then I went to get the bottle of water because I need it, and also the environment and all, but mostly because I need it.
And then the bag is stolen.
And then I almost fell. And if I fell there, that would be really hurtful. Not, or maybe the end. And the person, and only on the next day someone crossed that path, Oh no, on the second day after that, some person crossed that. So
you would have to wait for like 48 hours to get help or whatever.
Yeah. If I had some bad, but fortunately I grabbed some branch and I was like, all right, let's go.
And then how do you do that then with like a health insurance? Do you have like a Brazilian health insurance, international health insurance, or no insurance at all?
Well, usually I didn't have, for most of my years traveling, I didn't have a health insurance, only when it was mandatory, like in Europe. Well, they never asked, but it says it's mandatory, so if they ask and I don't have, then I'm in trouble. But nowadays I prefer to have, because if some problem happens and I don't have,
getting old.
Much more expensive than... No, actually, when I was young, when we went on that trip in 2012, something happened with me there that I regret not having a insurance.
Yeah, elaborate.
All right, it's actually a funny story. So I was in Thailand and I went to this waterfall, and then, all right, I was by myself in the waterfall, and of course without shirt, just the shorts. And then I'm sitting on a rock. The waterfall is behind me.
Together with Enrique?
Huh?
Was this together with Enrique?
No, he left, unfortunately. But we had
thanks God. Two guys there.
So I'm sitting on a rock and I see a monkey next to me nearby, and there's a little monkey, it's a baby, kind of. It's not a big monkey, because after some time there, you know how monkeys are. And I see this small monkey is coming towards me, and I think, all right, it's a small monkey, so probably the mother or father is around, so I'm just not gonna do anything, and I'm gonna pretend it's a T-Rex, and if you don't move, it doesn't see you, right? Doesn't work with monkeys. So if you find yourself in that situation,
when did you try for T-Rex, by the way?
If it wasn't work, but it wasn't. So
what did the monkey do? He just like jumped on your head or something?
The monkey was coming slowly, put the hand on my arm, on here, my shoulder.
Yeah.
Came closer to with his mouth and tried to suck my nipple. Did I tell you this, Enrique? No.
No, actually I didn't know that.
And then,
man.
And then
they look like they have milk in them, I guess, right?
Yeah.
He's a bit overweight.
They're not that big as they are nowadays. I was really skinny. So all right, this happened. I told this to my friends there. I was kind of working in Thailand, and I told this and saw rabies, blah blah blah. I didn't tell about the nipple thing. I just said some monkey bite me or something, licked me or something like this. And then I said, "Oh, maybe you should go to a doctor because rabies is possible here with dogs." And there weren't dogs there, cats and bats and monkeys because they're wild. So I went to the doctor. He said, "Yeah, you should take it because if you get rabies, you die. There's no escape. Only 6 people in history have healed from rabies." So all right. So how much is it? And he said, $40 each shot. You have to take 5. in some periods of time. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
And it was the end of the trip. I didn't have much money, so I was okay. Took the first there in the island, took the second, and then I thought, all right, I'm gonna go back to Brazil in a few days. So it's better for me to go back to Kuala Lumpur, to Malaysia, the capital. It's a big city. So I guess there's gonna be cheaper because there's an island. There are monkeys. Kuala Lumpur has also a lot of monkeys. So capital is gonna be cheaper, of course. I go there, $150 per shot.
Damn.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, now so it's already $230, right? $230. If I do when I do now the insurance,
Your budgeting.
yeah,
Like your budgeting normally is like $30 a day, right?
yeah, maximum, and they're for sure lower than that. So if I had an insurance, it would be much cheaper. I mean, I would be covered. I would have paid the insurance, but then I wouldn't have spent $230. And then I come back to Brazil. There are 2 shots to take, and here they're free. So at least that. But
That's nice.
yeah.
So talking about the nipples and like shallow relationships and stuff. I mean, you have a girlfriend, so I'm not sure if I should be asking this, right? But I mean, we're all guys here, and guys have like a certain need for conquest, right? And so we go out to these countries, and then like some guys have like goals, like if I'm in a country, I want to have sex with a girl that lives in that country. So is that also a goal that you've set for yourself as well?
No, I no.
Sounds like a yes to me.
Why not, man?
Well, actually, kind of. Like in Thailand, I worked at a bar with some Brazilian friends. So we had this flag kind of bet who gets the most different flag. So yeah, and with Henrique, I also had some games like a bingo and stuff like this. I was playing by myself.
I never knew that, Henrique.
That was in the past. We are young and full, man.
Yeah, I was playing by myself, but all right. Henrique was helping me to achieve my goals at the bingo. So yeah, I did that, not with locals, because I don't know, there in Asia, I feel a bit weird with Asian women. I don't know why. It's not like I don't like them. I like them, but I don't know how to flirt.
This is getting weird.
For some reason, I don't know. Because I always think, oh, maybe this thing that she's doing, is like corresponding in Brazil. That would be, but here I'm not sure. So I always get on the defensive. You know?
Yeah.
And how many flags did you conquer?
Shit, my girlfriend's gonna listen to this.
Hey, man, you don't have to answer, right?
Why not? It was all in the past, right?
Yeah, and my life is a book rope.
Okay, let's.
And with bent letters.
Exactly.
It was around 30. I would say around 30. I have to check
that's a
my
lot of flags.
spreadsheet, but it's around 30.
So, and did you also point this like on continent level? So you want everybody from Europe or from South America, or was it like all over the place?
I wasn't playing war. I was playing peace and love, not war.
So I guess we can go back to a more serious subject here.
Yeah.
So we talked a bit about your hourly works and you get up in the morning pretty early, and I was wondering about how do you stay self-motivated and how do you stay disciplined when you have the ocean and the beach like just outside of your apartment. No one can check you for your work. Of course, I mean they can see what you commit to GitHub and all that kind of stuff. But still, is it hard to stay disciplined and to do the work that people require you to do?
Yeah, in the beginning it is really hard, but then you force yourself to do it, and you get to the point where I wake up before 7 without an alarm. And I'm usually angry about it. I would stay until at least the alarm. But every day I'm waking up before it, like 30 minutes. So in the beginning it's hard. especially like moving, if you are moving too much, because then you get tired a lot. But I move a lot, but not that frequently, so I don't spend that long in buses and all the stuff. So this schedule of waking up at 7 a.m. for me now is perfect. Because I do stuff when it's too, I wouldn't say dark, but when there is no one outside, and then when it's like already a good sun, I go outside and do stuff, and things are opened, you know.
And so, do you also work? Do you also work outside? Like, because a lot of people have this image of them of a digital nomad, like they're sitting in a Starbucks doing their work. You know, is that also something you do, or do you?
No, I don't.
Find yourself in your apartment all the time, working.
Yes, I prefer to work in the apartment because there are no distractions and I already paid for it, you know. But sometimes when I'm like, I have to check out at, I don't know, I have to check out at midday and the flight is at 8 p.m. So yeah, I go to a restaurant, have lunch. Like when I was in Thailand, and I was working a lot. I stayed in my computer. I stayed like kind of whole day in the restaurant, you know. Yeah. So it depends, but I prefer to just work at the place where I'm staying, you know.
Okay.
And like so basically in all these countries you actually just speak English?
Depends a lot. Mostly English because I don't know that many languages, but yeah.
But like you are able to communicate, like you never had an issue that you come to a country, doesn't matter which one, and it's just like unable to get anything done because they don't speak English.
Not anything. You always find a way to do stuff. But big problems were China and Russia. China, forget it. No one speaks English. Once I went to...
Worse than in Brazil.
Once I went to... here's much better. Much better. In China, once I went to a chocolate store and I said the word chocolate to the girl and she was like, what? In China. And of course it was not a huge city. It was not Beijing or Shanghai where it's like internet. Shanghai, it's international. But you know, it's hard. And especially in China with food was really hard for me. Chinese food is famous for being good, right? But it's only good if you know how to order. And I didn't know. What I knew how to say was vegetarian and rice. So I get to some restaurant and I say vegetarian, vegetables, rice. And then the person brings me a bowl of rice and a bowl of vegetables. The same vegetable, actually. And what can I do? Am I going to complain? Say, how am I going to complain? I can't do anything. So I just shut up, eat, and then leave. So yeah, I never ate so many Subways and McDonald's in my life. Fish McDonald's, as in China, because it was really hard.
Yeah, because you used to be vegetarian and you no longer are vegetarian.
No, yeah, I eat fish nowadays. And back then I ate fish also in China. But Russia was hard also, but it's much easier because if you know the letters, you at least can say and read, and you know, kind of in China it's like characters, and I don't even try. I learned like 4 characters in 2 months that I spent there, and it's like this. This is 1, 2, 3, and the character for mountain. That's what I learned. But in Russia,
because you use it so often.
Yeah. But in Russia was my girlfriend. She's Russian, and I already knew how to speak, how to read, and how to write. I don't understand, but I know how to read. So it was easier. But especially in Moscow and St. Petersburg, it's the biggest cities, more international. But I traveled around for 2 months in Russia also, without her, and that was hard. Because you go to a restaurant, the waiter doesn't speak English. The hostels I stayed, people didn't speak English. Even in the hostel, the people are the person in the reception didn't speak any English, like whatsoever.
Damn.
And then
How do you manage then? Is like Google Translate or something, or what do you do?
a lot of Google Translate, but also I was trying to learn Russian, so I could communicate somehow, and I knew a lot of words, so it was much easier than China, but it was still hard. I remember my first time alone in a supermarket, trying to find milk cream. It was like 30 minutes to find it because like, what is happening? I don't know. So yeah, so with the language, but if it's in a language that speaks Spanish, I'm fine because I speak Spanish, and English is fine also. So
Okay.
yeah.
And let's say we have some people listening right now that also think like, oh man, I want to give this digital nomad thing a try. Like, how would they go about this? Do you have any tips, or is there some resources that they could go to and check out how to become a digital nomad?
Well, in my case, I'm a programmer, so I think it's easier than for in some other areas to find because there are always jobs for developers, and so a tip would be if you're a developer, especially, or if you work with IT, let's say, it's not just developer, designer, and all the stuff also. Go to a website. That's what I did. I was from home doing like a test to see if it worked from my parents' house. Then I started applying for jobs in a website that I found, mostly Brazilian jobs there. And it was like starting, and I found some jobs. And then after I managed to save some money for start, I thought about 6 months if I couldn't get anything. So then I started the trip. I didn't start with nothing or with just a little bit. And 6 months, actually, it wasn't much money because I was saving a lot back on those days. So yeah, and then when you're at home doing this from home, it's good because you can make this schedule. Like I'm having now wake up early, do work, and then do something, and then come back. I'm waking up at 7 now. Yeah. So it's like you're practicing in a safe space, which is your house. Then when you feel the confidence, you go out and do it.
Okay.
That's it.
And what about like doing taxes and stuff? And like, did you always like keep a Brazilian bank account, or did you have to get bank accounts for all the different countries that you were in, or how did that work?
Yeah, I have a Brazilian bank account, but for the other, I'm working now for Portugal. I worked for Argentina and now the Netherlands also. What I did is that I have a bank account from a European company, I would say. So it's not a bank account; it's like more like a debit. I have a debit card, but I have the IBAN number.
Which company is it?
It's TransferWise. So I have my IBAN, and then anyone can just send money to this account. And then I have my debit card with them, where I can withdraw money anywhere in the ATMs. And yeah, this is having this international IBAN, that's really good, because in Brazil it's a bit tricky to get it actually.
Okay.
My brother is a manager of a bank here, and he told me it's a bit tricky, and doing these international things, it's a bit bureaucratic. So yeah.
So do you pay taxes then with those kind of banks? How does this work?
Yeah, I pay taxes. I declare the yearly taxes. I don't know how to say it in English, or I don't remember. But yeah, I do. With this TransferWise thing, they send me some the taxes that I have to declare, because it's also in Brazil. So they send me the details, and then I just declare it. But of course, I have a company here in Brazil in my name. So the works I do for abroad, they are in my name. I mean, in my company's name.
Yeah, okay.
Because if I don't have
So
it,
you
I
pay
can't
local taxes.
if I don't have this company, I can't even work for abroad and for Brazil also. So as it's a one-person company, and I don't do, there is a limited amount of money that you can make per year. If I don't pass it, if I don't cross that amount,
Yep.
I pay like 10 euros per month. It's fine. If I pass, then I have to change the kind of the company and all. But I guess this year is gonna pass, but last year it didn't. So yeah. So I declare the taxes. I have a Brazilian account. I have the international account. So yeah.
All right, and we touched upon your possessions just a little bit, but I'm just curious because you said like it fits in 2 backpacks. So literally, all the possessions you have is your clothes and your laptop, and then I don't know, like don't you miss like buying stuff? Like, oh man, I want to get that TV, or oh man, that dirt bike looks pretty awesome. I want to have that. Like, don't you have that urge to buy stuff?
No, actually, I never was a person that liked buying stuff. So, I have a few shirts, a few shorts, one pair of.
I think actually he has one shirt. I never seen that different color.
No, actually, this year I bought 5 of these, the same.
Okay, yes, sure.
No, that's true, actually. Can sound like a lie, but that's true. So, what I have in my backpack, I have 2, right? The big one, where it's most of the stuff that I don't use I don't need fast access to it. So it's my sleeping bag, my mattress, and then the clothes and shampoo and all the stuff, underwear, and socks, and also my shoes and flip-flop.
So you have like one pair of shoes, or?
I have 2 actually. I have running shoes and normal shoes. And most of the times I have only one, but now as I'm trying to run and do some exercise, I bought the other ones. And then also, this is the big backpacks, like 70 liters or something like this. A shaver also, maybe you will not believe that I have one, but I have. And in the small backpack, then I have cameras, computer, and all the cables that I need for that. Battery, my headphones, just things that I need access fast. So
do you still have a drone?
Yes, I still have it. It's on the cameras that I said.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that's it. I don't miss buying stuff because I was never a big consumer of stuff.
Right.
I buy clothes like once a year or 2 years. Oh no, not 2 years, 6 months. Once a year, around 6 months. And now with this buying only like the same clothes, I just go, pick 5, that's it, leave. I don't like to be in shopping malls and supermarkets and all the stuff. When I go with my girlfriend, she's more like a picker. She goes and smells, not nowadays, but she smells the fruits and all the stuff. And I'm like, shit, we'll just get one. So I get a bit annoyed.
And how do you deal with, like, for example, householding things? So you have 5 t-shirts, then do you wash them or yourself in a hostel, or do you always go to like a laundering place and you pay somebody to do it? And like how you do with cooking and
all right.
you go always
you
to a
don't
restaurant?
wash.
Yeah, probably. I think he doesn't wash.
All right. So I don't stay much in hostels nowadays, but the hostels, they have cleaning service usually, like washing, laundry service. So you just pay them and they do it, and on the next day it's there for you. Sometimes it's missing something, but usually it's there for you. So what nowadays I'm doing is more like hotels and Airbnb. So sometimes the Airbnb has laundry. Like this one I'm staying now, it has, so I'm just gonna do everything here. If not, then yeah, I go to a laundry place when I need it, and then I do it. This laundry thing it's basic, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
With the food, So, as I said, I like to get to know the culture and how people do the stuff on daily basis, but also I go to the trendy places also, of course. So with food, I reserve at least once, usually lunch, because it's when I'm outside, to eat the local food. So I mostly never eat lunch at home. So what I usually do is breakfast, which is like fruits, usually with some cereals. And then dinner, we cook something. Like my girlfriend cooks really good. I can do some stuff also. So yeah, usually cook. But depends also on the country. There are countries where it's not even worth it to cook because things are so cheap. So if you cook, you're just
like
spending
Southeast
time.
Asia, it's
Like Thailand. I don't think I ever saw a stove in Thailand in my life, and I stayed total like 8 months there. So yeah, like Thailand, Malaysia, it's so cheap that you don't think about cooking. You know, you can do because you miss it, but you don't do it usually. But countries more expensive, like European countries or some South American countries, then it's good to follow this eating once outside, you know, because it can get
man.
expensive fast.
Yeah, in Holland, if you're gonna eat the local food, you're gonna pay like €7 for a piece of bread and a ham in it.
So yeah,
They call
and
that
it's
lunch.
not worth it.
But it's a nice one.
It's not worth it. €7 here. I paid that crab night yesterday. Crab,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, a crab night, yes.
So yeah,
sounds good, man.
yeah.
And so you're in your home country right now, in Brazil. Is there any country on your list where you said like, yeah, that's where I'm gonna go next?
Well, one thing that I really would like to do, it's not one country only, it's actually a whole continent. I would really like to travel in Africa by car. Like not the whole country, of like some countries that are in big trouble, like well, some countries that are in big trouble, then okay, I can
Somalia or something.
Yeah. I was thinking more about Sudan because my cousin, she works for the UN and she was there. So, but Somalia also could be. And then I would like to travel all of them, most of them, by car. But then, of course, I have to buy a car first. I've never bought one.
It's gonna take you quite some time, right? Because Africa is huge.
Yeah, and well, but I am actually used to these long trips. With Henrique was my first long trip, and the first was 6 months already. You know, and then I think I could manage. I'm not sure about my girlfriend, but I think I could. You know,
And like, do you think?
if I have internet somehow? I know I'm not going to have everywhere. Even in Brazil, I don't have everywhere because it's a huge country and there are some places that's not even, there are no one living there. But if I have internet, I can communicate with my family and with her and my friends, then I'm sure I'm not going to feel alone.
And do you see yourself also like maybe having a family like with kids and still having a nomad life, or do you think once you would have kids you would go back and settle down in a place?
Well, with kids it's a bit hard because there is school and vaccinations and all this stuff, so I think maybe I would give it some time off, mainly because of school. You know, I think school on the road would be hard, and then if I work and do homeschooling, then I have no time for anything else. You know. I think with kids should be different, but kids also have holidays from their schools, so could be that. You know.
Because everyone loves flying with children.
Arno does that.
It's gonna be great, man.
Arno has a camper that is like 1 square meter and like 3 kids, a dog and cats and everything in it. I don't know how he does that.
Yeah,
survival, man.
So I've heard about people doing it, traveling with kids, and like 5-year-olds, and still doing the school thing, but they were not teaching; they were paying someone to teach them online. But I'm not sure that's allowed here in Brazil, so it would be like a crime I would be committing if the kids from here.
But your girlfriend is from Russia, so the kid would be Russian too, so it would be allowed.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's allowed in Russia. I have no idea, but here's not. I'm pretty sure it isn't homeschooling yet. So, what to do?
Yeah.
I don't see any escape from that. Not like I want to escape from that, but I don't see any escape from that.
Yeah. So I got one more question, and that one is actually for Henrique, because you said like you tried the nomadic lifestyle, and now you're in the Netherlands for 10 years, and of course you have a kid now as well, and looking to buy a house here. But do you never want to try out the nomadic lifestyle for yourself ever again?
No, I think it's actually pretty cool. I think there is also like, I think the downside of like nomadic lifestyle is more indeed like family and friends that you leave it behind. But once you live abroad, that's kind of the same. Of course, you make new friends if you don't move, but I think the connection is never the same as your connections you have in your home country. And yeah, I would definitely like that, but I think it's more combining as well. If you want to build relationship with like a partner relationship, like a wife and a husband, it is hard to find someone who wants to really have the same lifestyle. And I mean, I think Paulo has this dilemma in his life a lot of the times, but otherwise I would definitely. But now with kids, then is for me is out of the picture. I don't think I would do that because it's just too complicated. And I think also the type of job that I like doing now, I don't think I could do it as well as a nomad.
Right. And what about you, Arno? Would you consider yourself like giving it a try? I know you have kids as well.
Well, they definitely make it impossible, I think, especially when you're 3.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's for me. I think I like the traveling part. I did travel to Malaysia as well, and Indonesia and South Africa. South Africa with my youngest, by the way, with my oldest, who was 10 months back then. But doing it for years, no. I think that's not for me. I think tops 2 months, maybe 3. Yeah, that's it.
All right. One
like a holiday.
Let's say, like one bad side that I noticed also is like let's say I have 10 friends. I have in Brazil, of course. So I've been to the weddings of like 1 or 2 only. And when my nephews were born, I was not here. When I met them, they were like already, I don't know, 1. And you miss this kind of stuff. That's a big downside. And yeah, that's a problem.
All right. So, well, Paulo, I want to thank you for joining us. I don't know if the guys have any more questions for you, but I think we're running out of time here.
Yeah, we are good.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Thanks for having me. Call me anytime you want. It's fun.
Yeah, man, I had a blast. I loved your stories. I think you have 1,000 more stories in you from all your world travels. So who knows if we see you on a future podcast. Yeah. I want to also thank my co-hosts, Henrique and Arno. Thank you for being here, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And of course, I want to thank the listener as well. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. Let us know what do you think about being a digital nomad, and if you want to give it a try. As we said, For Scouts tries to bring freelancers that think alike together with clients, and maybe we can work together. So thanks again, Paulo, and that's it.
Bye bye.
And I'll stop the recording. Cool.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Scoutcast, Roasting Marshmallows, with your host, Rolf Surd. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit forscouts.nl and on Twitter @forscouts. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on Scoutcast, Roasting Marshmallows.